There we go. Finally. Oh my gosh. My OBS crashed like 15 times trying to start stream. I do not know what just happened. That was so weird. It would just keep crashing and crashing and crashing and crashing and crashing. I'm running it as administrator. I'm running it with less things open on my computer. Like what going on? Speaking of which, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? How's everyone doing? We out here. We truly are out here. Let's see here. I've got some music for us. There we go. What's up, Tomcat? What's up, Malacrosis? Oh, the chat looks kind of funny. Let's fix that. Filters. Custom colors. Huh. Let me select a color. Let me try this pick screen color. I want to... Maybe that'll work. No. No. Oh, that's why. Oh. There we go. Lit. Now you can see what y'all are saying a little better. It's a little clearer. Just a wee bit. How everybody doing today? How we doing? Hello? What's good, everybody? What's up, Steampunk the Cat? How you doing? Big tired. Ooh! You just saved my life by reminding me that I'm tired and I left my coffee downstairs. Oh my God. Please, I'll be back. We're good. We're good. We're good. Chair simulator? Chair simulator over. Bro, I left the coffee pot on thinking it would finish and it didn't. So, thankfully, I grabbed a bulk box of Celsius as like a backup if I ever forget coffee. It's been like 2 months and I've had like 6 of them. You know, because I make my wife and I coffee every morning. What's up, Andrew? Spiral Eater, John, how's it going? Dude, I cooked. Malacrosis, I cooked on your deck today. Hard. So... I think you're queued up as the last one today, Malacrosis. Yeah. So we got Pablo, Dion, Flubsy, Sir Trekkie, Olivia, and Malacrosis today. Fuzzy was supposed to be on today, but he had such a unique commander idea. And then, this may sound weird. So like I looked around online for the commander that Fuzzy asked me to build, and it's just... There's a really generic way to build a commander he asked for. It's this blue legendary creature that you can tap to copy a spell as long as it wasn't cast. And so, like, originally, I was like, okay. And here's the problem. My first thought was, yo... oh, it is Flubsy. What's up, Flubsy? Like... Normally, I'm like, oh, something that isn't cast, Cascade. It's like, or sorry, not Cascading, Storm, but it's mono blue. So it makes like using storm triggers a little weird, and most of the stuff in blue that has storm isn't that interesting outside of like the 2 good ones. And so then I saw people going like, oh, do suspend cards, things like that. And then that was literally every list I could find online for the commander. So currently I'm just cooking on that one. I want to make sure I actually build you something unique. I don't think any of the decks that I've made on this channel so far is something you could just, you know, Google and find and it work for you. Because I think what I've realized was like, I got really bad imposter syndrome the first week of doing this. And then I realized I'm fitting people's specific budgets, themes. Like, it would take probably dozen plus hours to find anything even close to what you're looking for online. And then you still have to like maybe even move it a different bracket. It's harsh. What's up, Def Chatters? Hey, Tyler. Welcome. Oh, as a show of hands, who here actually keeps up watching Def Chat on the channel? Because my wife is going to be joining me for the next episode of Def Chat, and she says she might want to be like a consistent like guest with me. Okay, Memo, we got 1. Tyler, okay. We got Andrew. Yeah, so yeah, she's hilarious. Absolutely. Yeah, Spiral, I appreciate that a lot. It's been fun because like whenever I make a deck, I don't know. So I think I've figured something weird out, which is I do not build decks the way other people do. I heard how my friends build decks and it like concerned me. I was like, that's where you start. And so this is how I wanted to start stream today. I wanted to talk to you about how weird I find how everyone deck builds. And now I'm realizing I'm the weird one. Yo, what's up, Soul? Code Exorcist. What's up, John? You watch as well. That's awesome. So, but 2 things. Yeah, before I get into that, 1, my wife wants to regularly join me on Def Chat. So, we're also going to like maybe turn it into a little bit podcasty, just a little bit. And then we think once we get like really good at it, you know, we may want to make it like a public thing, not just for subscribers. But for now, we like keeping it subscribers because we know that you're invested and we can like share personal stories and it's not as weird, you know. It's not like a broad audience. But okay, so I want to talk about how people build decks and how it confuses the hell out of me. It makes it makes no sense. Thanks to you, I've been playing and testing Green Goblin out in CDH. Yeah, Jordan, the Green Goblin is stupid fun. I think we're going to see it just as much as we see Kefka now. And Kefka is definitely going to continue to rise in popularity. I think Kefka is literally, in my opinion, Grixis Tivit. You know, I love that deck so much. It's so strong. But I asked my friends the other day, because I now basically make decks full-time for a living, how they build their decks. Because, the decks being brewed today, Kanan. We have Pablo is doing Exodus. That is the first one. We have Pablo, Dion, Flubsy, Sir Trekkie, Olivia, and Malacrosis today. And so I asked my friends, how do you build your decks? And they were like, oh, I find a commander that I really want to build, and then I build it. And I'm like, that sentence doesn't compute. That makes no sense to me at all. What, like, those words shouldn't be in a sentence together. Like, you find a commander that you want to build, and I tried to clarify with them. I'm like, you mean like you don't just like come across the commander and then the commander does something that makes you go, oh, that could support a strategy I like. Because I feel like all my friends create decks completely around a commander. They like find a commander they want and then they build around it. And I'm like, that's not how Magic decks work. Like, Magic decks have a theme or a mechanic or, you know, just like a Magic set, right? Where there's a Magic set and then the designers of the set go, we're going to add a landfall or kicker or sacrifice or, you know, whatever. Like, you know, you have to think about your commander decks more like how a Magic designer thinks about a Magic set, where there is a revolving door of mechanics that need to work with one another. Yeah, exactly, Jordan. You find a commander that then helps that theme. And like, I don't understand the concept of not thinking about the gameplay first, you know? And that's like, this is me being, more so like, I don't, well, sorry, let me get the right word for this. I'm not saying that the way my friends like to, constantly shoot down at, an idea because they only want the commander to work the way it is. I don't think it's a bad way to deck build, but I feel like it creates decks that, like, if someone blickies, if someone like just shoots your commander twice, you sit there and do nothing all game. And then after that, they go through like a process where they like upgrade the deck to where if anyone goes on their commander, it gets like they know the deck can function without it. And then they even get farther down that line and they go, oh, you know what? I'm also going to include a backup commander in the 99, something like that. And so it's one of these like really strange, I don't know the best way to put it. It's this like really weird conundrum where I feel like where they end is where I start, and where they start is where I slowly inch closer to the more I play a deck. It's very odd. Like, I don't know how to like manage that, if that makes any sense. Oh, your Euroko deck? Let me check. Your Euroko deck is being made. I'm assuming you put the Euroko deck in the September Commander decks, right? And you put your preferred name down as Soul or Code Exorcist, right? What's up? What's up, Pablo? Pablo, what's up, dude? Pablo, you are up today. You are number 1 today. Yo, just now my LGS, I went insane on my Kylo deck, coming back from a board wipe and eventually winning. Let's go. That's awesome. It was a while back. Oh, so Code Exorcist, you did not put this in the September one. You put this in the regular form? I'm checking the old form. Did we skip a deck? That would be awful. Oh my gosh. Custom deck order. From... Yep, personalized deck orders, responses, and then let me pull up your name. Wait, what in the world? What? I don't see any of your responses in my forum anymore. What in the world? Okay, let's take care of this after. I'll get in touch with you on Discord. Something's haywire. Wow, these absolute Uh, what is going on right now? All all I see is like a bunch of messages and things getting deleted. I have no idea what's going on. Going for a walk with a little one, Def Cat. Nice. That's awesome. Ooh, it's going to be a good day, Flubsy. It's going to be a good day. Woo! But yeah, my whole point and what I was trying to get into here, guys, is like, I feel like a lot of people approach Commander by talking about just the Commander, like the, thing they want to build around. And then, on the other end of the spectrum, we have, like people that build from theme. And I feel like you're going to enjoy your deck more by starting with theme instead of Commander. Like, there's less footholds, I just feel like you're going to constantly like fall into random things. Yeah, Zach Miller. Yeah, there should be, let's see here. How about this? I want to let you know there is a calendar about when decks are going up on the Discord. I'm updating it after the stream. There already are decks on there. You may already be on the calendar, so check out the Discord if you haven't already. If not, you should be receiving an email today. So that should really free all that up. So by the end of today, we should probably have solved any questions about decks and when people are getting them. But without further ado, Pablo, are you ready, Pablo? We've got your deck. We are going to be going over, if you guys have not heard of this Commander, it's from Strixhaven. And I got to add in my favorite, this is my favorite secret commander of all time. It's so much fun. So I'm very excited about this. So I added a secret commander in this deck. Also, yeah, Malacrosis, thank you. Everyone say amen. Thank you to the mods for taking care of chat right now. Obviously, someone's spamming and getting out of the channel. So thank you to the mods. Thank you, Malacrosis. Thank you so much. Here we go. We're going to be talking about Extus Auric Overlord. Let's get into the first deck of the day. Extus Auric Overlord. He is a human warlock with double strike. They're also a flip card, so we'll get into that. So, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, return target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to your hand. The backside of this card says Awaken the Blood Avatar. It's a legendary. Well, it's just a sorcery. I'm a little bit confused why it's not called a legendary sorcery, because it can be in the command zone. That'd have been cool, but I digress. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each creature sacrificed this way. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, create a 3/6 black and red avatar creature token with haste that says whenever this creature attacks, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. So, Awaken the Blood Avatar is what almost everyone builds this deck around. They build this deck completely to making tokens, doubling tokens, yada, 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 right? People want to properly get the best value out of this backside, right? Does the mana tax get higher for both sides when you play them? I'm going to share the specific ruling because it is a little different, so I'm going to pull it up. That way I don't actually like not mispronounce it, but you get my point, missay it. So how does Commander tax work with flip commanders that have a spell on the back? So Commander tax applies to flip commanders just as though it were to any other commander, as tax is cumulative cost. The Commander tax is associated with the card itself, not the current state or activated abilities. And so what's strange about this is for a very long time, everyone thought the Commander tax was for the zone, but it actually tracks the card. So it's a non-bow ruling that like rarely ever comes up, but there are ways to skirt this, but this one will not. Now, so here is what I have a problem with. Everyone turns this into a generic token making deck, and then they slam Awaken the Blood Avatar. That's basically the deck to most people. And then instead of letting the sorcery go to the graveyard, they let it go to their command zone, and then Awaken the Blood Avatar is able to be cast again for really cheap because you can keep making it cheaper by sacking tokens. And it makes this a really easy commander to just spam the back sorcery on, right? Really, it's good, but I think for like the health of the format, as I'll call it, I truly believe that this commander should be played where the front side is the majority of your first 5 turns of gameplay. So we focus on X this for the first 5 turns, and then we focus on Awaken the Blood Avatar turn 6 and after. That's really how I think this deck should be played, in my opinion. And I also was told that the generic token making strategy was boring for Pablo. So I wanted to alleviate that stress. I'm going to eat some Cheez-Its for 2 seconds and crack my Celsius before we really get into it. Oh yeah, baby. Just as God intended. The lunch snack at Champions. I already had lunch, don't worry. I made myself a fruit and protein shake with peanut butter. How you do it? Your man's had to work out today. We had to hit the gym. Urgh. Without further ado, I would like to already introduce you to the secret commander that's already on the screen. Lolth Spider Queen, which, God, dear God, if I cannot say this anymore, go read the Forgotten Realms novels with this character in it. They're so cool. So, Discord link. Yes, Zach Miller. I think I can provide that for you. It's on the Patreon. The Discord link is on the Patreon. It's within the posts. So Lolth says, whenever a creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter onto Lolth Spider Queen. Then, 0 mana, you draw a card and you lose life. But the neg 3 is create 2/2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach. So this makes us 2 tokens per turn, and then we're gonna slaughter those tokens. And it says whenever a creature dies, put a loyalty counter on Lolth, and we're gonna continue to reuse Lolth as a generator here. And then eventually ult Lolth. It says -8, you get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control, if that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. This often is actually amazing in tandem with the backside of Exodus, where it says whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control, we end up getting a bunch of swing-ins due to our tokens that help us close out the game. It's really nasty. So I also have ulted Lolth and kept Lolth around and kept using her as a generator. It was pretty great. And I've double ulted Lolth. I've gotten 2 emblems, which is pretty cool. So let's talk about the fact that we want sack fodder in this deck. So every deck needs a curve to it. Yeah, it's a little bit aristocratic, exactly. But you're only aristocrats for the first 5 turns. Then we move on to a new game plan. The deck evolves. So right now we've got Blood Pet. So Blood Pet is ramp and or sack fodder. It's good for both. Also, just, oh my gosh, the 7th edition foil of this card is so freaking pretty. I'm gonna be hopefully hunting one down soon. I really want one really bad. They're so gorgeous. Footlight Fiend, Serrated Scorpion, Shambling Ghast, Stitcher Supplier. So these are our 5 1-drops that we like to sacrifice, and then we have Viscera Seer at 1 mana to help us sacrifice. So this deck curves out pretty well because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 13, 14, 15. Now, we have 15 turn 1 plays in this deck. So it's not unlikely that we want to try to mulligan for a hand with something to do turn 1, which is just really fun. I like a deck with a good curve, you know? It's nice to not just play land go. Now, moving on to 2 CMC. We have Blood Artist, Charismatic Conqueror, Illus Ilkor, Marionette Apprentice, Orcish Bowmaster, Umbral Zealot, Voice of Victory, Young Pyromancer, Zilliport Cutthroat. So we have a lot of turn 2 plays, as well as like Arcane Signet and all the other stuff, and then some draw spells at 2 CMC. So realistically, this deck should be doing things right out the gate, which most of the time 4 CMC commanders aren't doing that, right? But we're setting up for when Exodus comes down to really abuse the ability to return all of these creatures we just talked about, all 15 of them, back to our hand. Because what we're going to do is we're going to cast things like Calling the Weak. As an additional cost, you sack a creature. So by the time Calling the Weak hits the stack, Exodus will be able to see the creature you sacrificed in your own graveyard. So you sacrifice Footlight Fiend or Serrated Scorpion to Calling the Weak. You gain 4 black. Then there's the death trigger of Serrated Scorpion. Exodus then says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, return a non-legendary creature from your graveyard to your hand. Then you immediately get Serrated Scorpion back and cast it again. And now it's like you just cast a Dark Ritual. It's basically an extra Dark Ritual. You get back the creature and get the sack. And then with that 3 black left over, you cast something like Morbid Opportunist and get yourself ahead, or Warren Soul Trader, or something like that. It's really great. So that is the main way we play the deck up until turn 5. And then once we hit turn 5, we still have Anointed Procession. We still have Bastion of Remembrance. We still have Impact Trevors with Skrelv and Bitter Blossom. We're going to have tokens to sack. It's just we're not kind of just like boringly waiting until we amass a combo that makes a bunch of tokens. We'll just create a normal amount of tokens for the first 3-4 turns. Then we'll slam the backside of this. And now, oh, what's up, Mads? What's up? Now, I know what you're thinking. Death Cat. How are we going to cast the backside of Exodus if he's on the battlefield? Come on, you know? He's already on the battlefield. Well, the whole deck is about sacrificing creatures. We're going to sacrifice Exodus. And then we're going to do the same thing where we put him into the command zone, and we're going to cast Awaken the Blood Avatar from there because we're going to have so many tokens we can reduce the cost. So if you're playing this deck correctly, your commander should cost 20 mana by turn 8, and it's not a problem for you. Ooh. Endrick Sar, our first Hear Me Out of the day. Let's get Scryfall up. I actually didn't even get it up yet. So it's Endrick Sar. All right. Let's get the the Hear Me Out screen up. Endrick. Am I doing the name right? Is it spelled correctly? E-N-D-I-R-K? E-N-D-I-R-K. Endrick. No worries, take your time. So the idea now is we also want to make sure when we're sacking things, we're getting a lot of use out of it. So I'm going to go through the things that help us do that. We have a Life Drainer. We have another Life Drainer. Something that allows us to surveil. A Life Drainer. This one draws us cards on death. This one deals damage on death. This one also Gains this life, and also you can sack via Sephiroth to draw. Warren Soul Trader gives us a treasure. Pitiless Plunder gives us a treasure. And then Teysa allows it to trigger twice. It's Endrek. Ooh, Endrek. Ooh. Endrek. Endrexar, Master Breeder. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create an X/1/1 black thrall creature token where X is that spell. Oh, yeah, baby. That's a good secret commander. I like that a lot. That's sick. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally, totally, totally. I love that. That's awesome. Great hear me out from Tyler, as per usual. Tyler Kemper, our local absolute G, highest hear me out chatter on the channel. All my homies love Tyler. So, let's go in a little bit more into the sauce here, because I really cooked on this one. Big fan of Tyler's work. Okay. There are so many things in this deck that say when you cast, make a token. This is how to run a token deck. Not obsessively trying to make token generators. That the deck will naturally make tokens as you play it due to these creatures. I love it. So, Cosmic Grand Zenith. Whenever you cast your second spell, make 2/1/1 white soldier tokens. Young Pyromancer. Make a 1/1 on every instant or sorcery. Voice of Victory. Every time you attack, you're going to make 2 for the turn, and then they sack on end step. Orcish Bowmaster, which, by the way, is absolutely insane in this deck. Makes you constant tokens anytime your opponents draw more than 1. Charismatic Conqueror. If your friends are complete delinquents and don't know how to use any level of self-control, you will win the game just off this 2-mana card. Welcoming Vampire is really awesome. You're going to be allowed to go get a insane amount of draw triggers off this. And then I realize there's only 2 cards, or 99 cards in the list. I forgot to put in Delny. Delny says, if any of your creatures power 2 or less have a triggered ability, it triggers twice. Super awesome. Which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, Exodus is 2 power or less. Hey Jordan, hear me outs are for channel members only because we do a whole segment for them. So if you want, you can join the channel below and you'll get access to my podcast, Def Chat. And then obviously we do want some doublers. So we have Odritak, we have Exalted Sunborn, and Mondrak. Does Kadric's Soul Kindler work here? Oh, okay, Wacky Pizza Man. Let's look at that. Oh, dude. Hold on. There's a better version. I just got this. One of my friends just sent me this from Japan. This thing is gorgeous. Look at this thing. He just sent it to me from Japan. It's somewhere in my bag here. I'll see if I can find it for you guys real quick. Yeah, there she is. Okay, I found it. Look at her. Ooh, oh, wait, there we go. Woo! Oh, God, it's gorgeous. Yeah, my buddy lives in Japan and sends me promo cards his store gets because it doesn't cost him anything. And then I just pay him the $5 shipping. Yeah. It's sold out on TCG? Wait, is this card expensive? I hate Magic. Why is Magic so expensive? I don't want to own expensive stuff. I just want to play the game. $70? Holy crap. Jeez. Yo, what's up, 8-bit? Okay. Now, we also have some other things in this deck that create tokens that I really love. Blot Out the Sky being one of them. I love a good X spell in a deck like this, considering we're running Jeska's Will and we can make a lot of mana. It's really great. We have Twin Flame because, oh my goodness, do we want to copy Delny? Copy Delny with Twin Flame. And then you get like triple activations on all your creatures. It triggers. Oh, so much fun. Oh, I do have something really geeky and really exciting about Twin Flame. Specifically, I tracked down the guy who made Molten Duplication, which is basically Twin Flame. I have a dual caster mage that the artist sketched Axel from Kingdom Hearts on, and so I'm getting the card it combos with Molten Duplication sketched as Roxas from Kingdom Hearts. I'm so excited. Hey, Sir Trekkie. Delny's not legendary. I'm 99% sure Delny is not legendary. They are? What? No. Why have I not built a Delny deck yet? What? Dude, I gotta build a Delny deck. That's awesome. Well, yeah, if we're not copying Delny, we're copying like Monastery Mentor or Cosmogrand Zenith. There's so many other things to copy that are so amazing. Or the payoff. Hell, make a copy of Zolpar Cutthroat. Man, I've never seen it as a commander. I gotta build that. I guess it's mono white. That'd be a little boring. This type of effect in mono white would be a little boring. Not that mono white's ever boring. There's plenty of ways to build mono white fun. I think people just suck at it. Oh, also, I wanted to make this deck just nasty wild. Of course, we got Yawgmoth's Will in here. We want to play things from Graveyard. I'm scrolling past a stupid amount of sacrifice spells. We already talked about that. So it is time. I have a problem with mono white players. Specifically mono white players that the only deck that they have that isn't mono white is a Loro. I have a problem with those people. Oh, Tyler, the reason I only kept in this Teysa is because it does exactly what we want. The other Teysa would fit in just fine. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. Let's play it. Let me show you the power. Ooh, man, I would love to keep this hand if it had another land. What an amazing hand. Do we risk it? Is this a risk it for the biscuit hand? I don't think it's supposed to be, but we're going to do it because it's stream and I can just restart it if it doesn't work out in my favor. Yeah, it didn't. Cool. Second 7. We're going to be responsible now. Oh, yeah, this is disgusting. Okay, cool. All right, it's time. I'm about to show you how nasty this deck gets. Okay. We're going to do Bright Climb on black. Play Shambling Ghast. Next turn. We're going to do Blight Step on red. And then we're going to cast Village Rites, sacking Shambling Ghast, making ourselves a treasure. Where's my treasure tokens? Actions, player. Where's a treasure token? There it is. Make a treasure. Goes to graveyard. And then we draw 2 cards. Ooh, nice. Okay, cool. Next turn. Urborg. Bop, 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 bop. Player commander. And then we got the white from the treasure that we just cracked. Now, next turn. Oh, dude, heck yeah. Okay, this is gonna be sick. Oh, how do I want to do this? Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so we play the Blood Pet. And then we play Mayhem Devil. We attack with Extus, right? And Extus deals 4 damage because he's got double strike, right? In second main phase, We sacrifice the blood pet for black. Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to someone because we did that, which is really cool. The 1 black then pays for the spectacle cost, the body count, and then we can draw a card for the fact that blood pet died. Exodus will trigger, and we'll get to put blood pet back in hand. And then we'll draw a card. Nice. And then if we, let's say we killed someone else's creature because they blocked, or the Mayhem Devil killed one of their 1/1s, we'd draw a second card. Nice. So this is the kind of thing I was talking about earlier, where like now we've kind of got this engine going with our commander, right? Marsh Flats, Mayhem Devil will trigger because of Marsh Flats. Go get Blood Crypt. Awesome. And then we're going to do... How do we want to do this one? This one's kind of fun. We'll cast the Blood Pet. And then we're going to want to pay 3 for Valakut Awakening. We're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 cards into the bottom of our library here. And we're going to draw 5 cards. 1 more. There we go. And then trigger Valakut Awakening, get Shambling Ghast back into our hand. Then we'll sack. Oh, no, we're 1 mana short of doing that. Dang it. I had a cool play here. That's fine. That's fine. We'll just play out the Shambling Ghast then. And then we'll attack in. Next turn. So this is now this is where we are going to be going into the nitty-gritty here. This is where we want to start thinking about sacking Exodus and going like nutty. So the first thing we cast is Stormkiln Artist. That's like an engine here, right? And then we're going to we're going to sack Blood Pet, cast Deadly Dispute, make a treasure. So we're going to make a treasure because of Stormkiln Artist. And then Exodus, or sorry, not Blood. Yeah, we sacked Blood Pet. We sack Shambling Ghast as an additional cost, making another treasure. Exodus will see the Shambling Ghast and put it back in our hand. That'll go to graveyard and we'll draw 2. We'll cast a Lotus Petal. We'll play a land for turn. And now we have access to 4 mana. We have Impact Tremors, Monastery Mentor, Umbral, and Endrick. And so, effectively, next turn, this game should be over. We should just pop the hell off. So it's Shambling Ghast, not Viserys here, it's Monastery Mentor. Yeah, Monastery Mentor. Awesome. Next turn. Yeah, game should be over from here as long as we're able to do the sacrificing that we want to. Impact Tremors. Yes, you are up today, Sir Trekkie. Correct. Yeah, Impact Tremors and Endrick. And then whenever you cast a creature spell, so we cast the Viserys here. We casted our second spell. Whoops, not a copy spell. We make the 1/1 Monk. We make the Thrall. And then we sack the Shambling Ghast, make a treasure. And we get to Surveil. No, sorry. Surveil would be if we had Umbral. We get to Scry. We love that. Awesome. We want to keep that on top. That's great. And then, yeah, so we'd probably want to wait till next turn when we get this, now that we know this is on top of the library, because that'll win the game. Yeah. So you just go into the net. Yeah, it pops off really hard. It's really cool. So this outburst creates 5 tokens for us in total, plus a treasure And because we cast an instant, we get Shambling Gas back. Come back. I'm not going to represent all these. I don't want to have to make all these. We have like 5 extra. We have 2 extra treasures and 5 extra creatures here on the side now. We sack X this. 2 mana. We're now able to cast the backside, which triggers Stormkiln Artist and triggers Mentor because it's a non-creature spell. And we could trigger Endrick if we wanted to. And then it'll see Shambling Gas that gets sacked and come back. So now we have an infinite loop of casting Extus, right? So this is one of your combos, by the way, Pablo. You cast the backside of Extus. Where is it? How do I flip them? Yeah, turn over. You cast the backside of Extus. You sack Shambling Gas to any of your creatures that sack. You make a treasure. Stormkiln Artist makes a treasure. Monastery Mentor makes a 1/1. And every time you sack anything, Mayhem Devil deals damage to everybody. And you should be able to win from there with enough damage. Yeah. So I wanted to make you a way better Extus deck than I could find online. And so it took me a week to do it. So know that this was a labor of love. But I really hope you enjoyed this one. This one was really fun to make. Very cool. And awesome top rope suggestion. Endrick ended up being really cool in this deck. I don't know if I would keep it in the final build just because it's like a 5 total mana. And that's a little hard for this deck sometimes. But yeah. Enjoy. Oh, also, if you want to sound cool, Pablo, people who play a lot of Storm decks called Stormkiln Artist Ska, S-K-A for short, for its acronym, because like ska music is apparently for cool people. So yeah, people call it Ska if you want to sound, you know, privy. All right. Our next deck is for Dion. So, Dion, let's get into actually what you asked me real quick. Where is... Ah, right. You were at the end of our last form. That's what it was. You were the last deck of August. Forgot about that. Okay. Dion, you said... do you have a Commander 9? Nope, but, huge but, I want a Secret Commander build with Electro, Battering, Salt, and maybe VV2. You wanted to be bracket 3, and you wanted me to cook. You wanted high bracket 3 and an unstoppable fortress of value. Pablo, I'm so happy you enjoyed the deck, dude. I was so excited to make it for you. So I was asked to make an unstoppable fortress of value in bracket 3 that has a Secret Commander, a VV, and the new Electro Battery. And then you want one of the final combos that can win the game to be Electro blinking himself and killing everyone to death. I have accomplished everything you asked of me. So, Abaddon, the Despoiler. Oh my goodness, if you want to talk about an infinite wall of value, talk about giving every single card in your hand Cascade. That is how you have an unending flow of value in your hand. It's pretty incredible. So, Abaddon the Despoiler says, Mark of Chaos Ascendant. During your turn, spells you cast from your hand with mana value X or less have Cascade, where X is the total amount of life your opponents have lost this turn. He is a 5/5 with Trample. You are going to get in with this guy. You are going to look over at your friend and go, and then start casting stuff for free. It's insane. Good morning, fam. What's up, Fuzzy? No, yeah, Fuzzy, you did not miss much. Just to let you know, Fuzzy, you have been moved to Tuesday. Your deck, oh my goodness, every deck list I found online with the commander you sent me was so boring. Like, I am cooking hard to make your deck fun. I did not want to give you a boring deck. So, you are the first deck of Tuesday. Because you were going to be the last deck today. Now you're the first deck of Tuesday. Just letting you know. Which, next week, most likely, guys, we are going to be on YouTube and Twitch streaming. So, we're going to be multi-streaming. And we are also most likely going to be streaming Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yeah, Memo, check the calendar. It should let you know. But we are probably going to be streaming 3 days a week starting next week because of how many deck submissions I have. So just to let y'all know. So Abaddon the Despoiler. Grixis Commander. 5 mana. How do we want to build this thing? Well, you said you wanted it to be an unending value train. So, here's the thing. I think unending value starts with Dark Confidant if you're in black. This is one of my favorite cards in the whole game. It's freaking gorgeous. If I can reach in here in my collection for a second. So I've got my Commander cube here with me whenever we're streaming. Especially whenever I'm, looking to make decks for you guys. There it is. Okay, I knew it would be near the top. Dark Confidant. This is one of my favorite cards of all time. I love this card. It has a sister that no one freaking plays. If you do not know what Dark Confidant reads, it says at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library. If it, you get to put it in your hand, but you lose life equal to, I think it's half its CMC or just its CMC, equal to its mana value. Yeah, so if you flip a land, it's just free card draw every turn. It's amazing. Yeah, Fuzzy, I agree. I think more streams is the right direction. Okay, so Dark Confidant and Keen Duelist both basically say the same thing. Let's switch to the real printing of Keen Duelist. Oh, which, by the way, guys, just to let you know, this may sound a little weird. If you can refrain from ever using the secret layer where they did Sheldon's art, I understand that there's a Keen Duelist with Sheldon on it. I was pretty close with Sheldon, and it's a little hard seeing him on a card, and it's a bit weird for me. So if you ever send me anything, if you can just remember that, I'd appreciate it. I miss him a lot, and it's just a little hard. So Keen Duelist says, at the beginning of your upkeep, you and target opponent each reveal the top card of your library, and you lose life equal to the mana value. Dude, I have the funniest story on God's green earth. I killed the last remaining person in a Commander pod with Keen Duelist. On their upkeep, they flipped like a 10 mana card and died. I've never laughed harder. If you play Yuriko and like not a CDH level, put Keen Duelist in your deck. Thank me later. It's so funny. It's just hilarious. So that's where the value train starts. So let's talk about other value trains in this deck. We got Birgi. Every time you cast a spell, make a red mana. And then the new mini Birgi, Electro. Every time you cast an instant or sorcery, add a red mana. And then we have Vivi. Every time you cast a non-creature spell, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on Vivi, and you can then activate it to make a bunch of mana. Stormkiln Artist. Whenever you cast this, copy an instant or sorcery, make a treasure. Prosper Tomebound. If you ever cast a spell from exile, you get to make a treasure, and you get to get a new card at the end of every turn. Etali Primal Storm. Attack in, steal cards. It's pretty great. It's pretty great, right? We're in Value City. Are we feeling this, guys? Can I get some amens in the chat? Are we feeling this right now? Is this making sense? The value level we're going on? Because I am about to take us down such a rabbit hole. We are about to just, woo! Yeah. So, here we go. I don't want to show you the rest of the deck. There's a secret. Something that you most likely have not seen before. And some of you, I know, started playing Magic in the last 3 years. That means you started playing after the set Time Spiral Remastered came out. So I don't think some of you know these cards. You may remember some of the cards I'm about to show you from Doctor Who. But we're about to show you something pretty cool. Ooh, no lands. Oh, no, we have one land. Okay, so let's get into this, guys. This is the Moxfield playtesting. I'm about to show you how this works. Let's get enough lands. One land and a snap. Oh, with a Keen Duelist, though. Ooh, that's pretty good. I think so. In a hand like this, I think you could keep it and hope for the second land, because we have really good card draw and we have mana ramp. So we'll try it out. We'll draw for turn, Play a Badlands. Ah, we don't have the mana for that. That sucks. Next turn. Yeah, we don't get it. So we gotta shuffle that one away. One land. How many lands am I on? How many? I should be at like 35 at least. 31? What did I do? Oh, I see what happened. Never mind. No, we're still good. 31 lands is enough. Trust me. I'm a scientist. I know what I'm doing. Okay. This works fine. This works fine right here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Draw for turn. Polluted Delta. We're going to crack it. We're going to go get Underground Sea. Bonk. We're going to tap and play a Preordain. We're going to scry 2 and then draw a card. Oh my god. Yeah, we like both those. Okay. Yeah, we're going to keep both of those on top. Okay, cool. Yeah, we like this. Next turn. Drowned Catacombs. Tap, tap. Arcane Signet. Right? Right? Pretty good so far. We're pretty happy with this. So, Abaddon costs 5 total mana. That means if we hit a land next turn, we've got him. But the good thing is we have Cabal Ritual, so it doesn't matter. So, we're like foolproof here. So, because of the Cabal Ritual, next turn, we still need a land unless we use the Lotus Petal now. So, it's like one of those weird things. I would opt to stay, not use it. Next turn. Xander's Lounge comes in tap. Glad we didn't do it. Okay, good. Lotus Petal, Cabal Ritual, make 3 black, blue and red from our lands. We have Abaddon. Awesome. Okay. Next turn. Yes, it happened. It happened. I get to show you guys now. Okay. Okay. Turn 4, we've played our commander. We have an insane amount of things, insane amount of stuff in our hand that can go absolutely wild. You're about to see how stupid this deck is. Attack him with Abaddon. Deal, let's say Abaddon deals 4 damage. They had a 1/1 they blocked with and we trampled over. Okay, cool. We're going to pay 2 life, and I'm going to get a little storm count tracker going here. Where are we going here? Is there a storm tracker? There's got to be a storm tracker, right? Gain 1, roll, 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 show mana, disable, enable. Is there no storm tracker? Really? Huh. Okay, we will do it with a mana tracker. So, we're, before we cast this, sorry, we cast, Birgi. And then, Birgi then says, due to Abaddon, when it's cast, it has Cascade. So, it's Cascade. We have to hit something lower mana value. Cool. We get to now cast this stone, technically speaking. This will go to the bottom of our library. Bonk. Now we have a stone, and then Birgi enters because the Cascade trigger goes on top. So Birgi's out. We have currently we have Storm Count 2. We're gonna cast Gataxian Prom. Storm Count 3. We're gonna make a red mana due to Birgi due to this, and Cascade trigger. Death Cat. What are you doing? That's a 1 mana value spell. That means Cascade must equal 0. You're about to see. You're about to witness history. Mox Tantalite casts for free. Now, I want you guys to understand how this interaction works. Mox Tantalite says suspend, and then it gets to go. So normally, if I had Mox Tantalite in my hand right now, and I cast it, I wouldn't get it for another 3 turns. Because it was hit off of Cascade, it instantly gets cast. Meaning we get another Birgi mana trigger because she adds red, and now we instantly have Mox Tantalite on the battlefield. It instantly goes to battlefield. We don't have to suspend it. Gataxian Probe finishes and we draw a card for turn. We play land for turn. We now have what? Mox Tantalite, the stone, 2 red, and our storm count is 4. Now let's use Thelwar Stone, and then Demonic Tutor, Birgi trigger, we'll use that red from that, and then Cascade trigger, and we have 5 storm count. We're gonna Cascade. Oh, I should put them over here so that way I can collect them easier. Cascade. Oh, okay, that sucks. We had an opt. Not that great. Put it to the bottom of the library. I keep forgetting where that is. Okay. Birgi trigger, make a red. And now we're at 6 storm. And then we get to opt, we get to scry, and then draw. Yeah, peak's pretty good here. We'll draw the peak. And now we'll demonic tutor. And we're gonna go get Vivi. Awesome. Demonic tutor goes away. Now, we have currently, let's see here. We have 6 total mana available to us. So we're going to cast Vivi for 2 red from Birgi. So we're going to remove the 2 red. We're going to up the storm count, and then the blue from Watery Grave, cast Vivi. Now, we get to, again, get another storm count trigger. We're going to cascade from Vivi. Oh, we hit something. Ancestral Visions. We get to cast Ancestral Recall, one of the most powerful cards in all of Magic history, for free. It says draw 3 cards instantly for 1 blue mana. But it cascaded, so it's free. And we make a Birgi red mana. 1, 2, 3. And of course, we draw the combo. We drew the combo. Remove the red mana. 1, cast Ophidian Eye. What's that? Make another Birgi mana. Make another storm count. And we get to cascade Lightning Bolt. Make another red mana. Make another storm count. Deal 3 damage to someone. And Vivi trigger. Deal a damage to everybody. Ophidian Eye enters the battlefield. We then use Mox Tantalite, cast Peak, trigger Vivi, trigger Birgi, trigger our commander. Soul Talisman gets cast for free. Now we have a free Soul Ring. And then Peak resolves. A Vivi trigger resolves, and we draw 3. As you can see, the game's over. The game is completely over. There's nothing anyone can do to stop this. We have effectively infinite casted infinite mana on turn 4. Oh my god. I love this deck. I love this deck. Oh, dear God. Yeah. Yeah. So, in my opinion, Abaddon is a little bit of a design mistake, but I don't think enough people know how to break the commander. It should say cards in your hand gain Cascade until end of turn. But no, it says during your turn, spells cast from your hand have Cascade. Like, it should not have given all spells cast from hand Cascade. It should have given spells in your hand at that moment Cascade. That's what the OG Cascade commander used to do, Yidris. Yeah, this deck's disgusting. This deck is absolutely disgusting. Look, I need to be real with you. Dion, this is going to take practice. This deck's not easy. What I just did was not simple. Like, that was a pretty complicated line that I just did, right, guys? So that's what's fun about Manual Storm is you will get better as you play it. You will learn the lines. This is bracket 3. It only uses 3 game changers, but it is very expensive. This deck's pretty expensive. Let me update to cheapest printings real quick and see how much it would cost. Yeah, this deck's $3,200 if you buy everything near mint. So keep that in mind. Most of that's due to the mana base, honestly. I think if you took out the mana base, it'd be like at least like $1,600 cheaper. Like, this deck's probably like $1,000 built on a good budget, which isn't bad considering you probably have a lot of the cards already. So yeah, I'll update this back to preferred printing so you have all the pretty stuff. But how do you guys feel? How do we feel about this one? I feel like this one was a serious W. This one's pretty amazing. So by the way, the win there, guys, even if you don't find any spells that actually win you the game, we had Tendrils of Agony in our hand with storm count, I think like 20 by the end of that. And so you can just keep getting your storm count up and then cast Tendrils of Agony to kill the table. I think you only needed like 25 spells or 25 storm to make Tendrils work. Yeah, it really, I feel like this commander properly plays to the vibe of its art. It's so sick. I love it. Yeah, exactly, 8-bit. I have failed making decks so many times in order to make this. So, a little history lesson. And for those of you watching, by the way, right now, this deck was made for a patron who paid me for it. If you want something of this level of quality and that I can actually, like, you know, make for you, go to my Patreon. Go get yourself a deck. I promise you won't be disappointed. I can promise. It's a guarantee. I literally just refund people that aren't happy with it. It's only ever happened once, but I did. It's okay. It's happened once in over 60 decks now. So I'm pretty proud of myself. But yeah, when I got into making decks, it was during, I think I started really getting into Commander in terms of like deck building in 2020. Before that, I net decked mostly, unless it was in Standard. I did not net deck in Standard. I loved playing my own builds there, but Commander was always just for fun. So I would go on to a website and order an under $100 Commander deck every, like, I think I bought, I would buy a budget $100 brew from these guys I would follow on their blogs back in the day and just order it straight from TCG Player. And like, dude, back then, bro. Okay, more story time here in a second, but I want to read what you guys are saying. Tangential, not to derail, but I'd like to tweak a response I've made for a request. Absolutely, yeah. DM me on Discord. Absolutely, no problem. For Abaddon, a thing I tried but never really saw often uses Shrieking Drake to bounce itself repeatedly and get all your 0-drop suspend cards in your deck. Thoughts? So, Minty, that is making Abaddon a combo deck rather than Manual Storm, and I think this deck's way more fun Manual Storm because there's less opportunity to brick. Like, so, everything about this deck is meant to keep itself going. So, if you only hit half a combo, it stops things, and that can get kind of detrimental to a fun gameplay pattern. You know what I mean? We don't want to do that. But as I was saying, let's get into the story here. And what's up, Hades? How you doing? What's up, Hades Box? All right. Back in the day, guys, we had blogs, right? I would go on these blogs and find my favorite deck creators, right? That was how I did it. And I'd find these deck creators and I'd be like, hey, I'm going to take whatever $100 budget build you have when I get like a good check at work, because I worked a little bit on commission. And I was like, cool, I made over $100 what I normally do that I budgeted for, you know, and I'm going to buy a deck. And I remember the first deck I ever purchased in Magic was in 2014. I bought offline a Gods and Hydras Theros deck because Theros had just come out. And I loved the Hydras in the set, and I loved Krufix, God of Horizons. One of the coolest commanders I'd ever seen. I thought it was so awesome. A blue-green deck that keeps all the mana in between, and then you can use all that mana to slam even bigger Hydras, you know? That was really sick. I bought about 6 of these decks back in the day, every time I had a really good paycheck. And I would get these $100, really well-built, and then I could go on those blogs later and be like, hey, I found these cards. What do you think of them? And in like these like long blog posts, we would talk about what cards that we would like to play instead. And then I remember the day someone showed me TCG Player, and obviously in like Channel Fireball, and I was like, you can order cards online? I don't have to go to my local game store and pray to God they have it in their binder? That's kind of cool. And I was like, whoa, like, that's nuts. Yeah, old school hear me outs. Exactly. And so I was just like, this is the coolest thing since sliced bread. And so I would order a $100 deck probably like once every 3 months back then. And $100 back then, you know, in 2014 for someone, you know, fresh out of high school, and I was in college, it was a lot, you know, and I had immediately gone into the workforce too. But I looked back at how much that Crewfix deck would cost for me to build today. It's like $700. Ridiculous. But I think that was like my intro into like being like a really good deck builder, was going on these blogs and passionately talking about decks to people I'd play that I had bought from them. It was really great. And so what I'm trying to accomplish here in DefCat MTG is exactly that. I want you guys to buy decks from me, and then we get to chat about it and become better deck builders together. Like, that's what I love about this. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. But before I get too ahead of myself, it is time to get into Flubsy's deck. Asmerolda Martica Diskidakoldakar. That is right. I know how to pronounce this. And if you guys cannot pronounce this deck, here, I'm going to pause the music. All right. You guys know Remy MTG? You guys may know him. Okay. The way to remember how to pronounce this deck is, oh my gosh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you know the sound of it, it's actually kind of atrocious. So supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's Asmerolda Martica Diskidakoldakaro. That's how I learned it. Asmerana Marticae Diskidakoldakar. So anyway, yeah, that was just a little fun little tidbit. I know that's really cheesy, but it's cute. I like it. So let's put you up as the currently being brewed commander, and then get into what we're doing, and then I can read chat. There we go. Awesome. What am I catching up on here? Hades Box. Do you think that when you improved your Scryfall search skill... Oh, dude. I have, and I quote, an entire deck building course coming out soon. It is a full course on how I build decks professionally. It is like, it's going to be at least 10 episodes long. Very excited about that. And I'm getting it professionally filmed, so it should be pretty fun. And as well as that, if you guys are interested, not only are we going to be doing a professional deck building, I'm doing a professionally filmed how to learn CEDH. And I mean, I'm literally going to have an episode. I'm going to have 2 full episodes dedicated only to politics on top of that. Like, it's not going to be, here's how to play Dust's Oracle. Duh. Here's how to mulligan. Duh. Like, I am going to tell you the actual answers you need. Like, very poignantly. So I hope you're excited for that. Flubsy, it is time for your deck. What did you ask me for? Let's look at your sheet. What did you ask me for, Flubsy? Flubsy, you asked me, you said, you choose Let Grandfather Nurgle Guide You. You said, Babeos Plegum, blood and guts, boils, bogies, rot, and pus, blisters, fevers, weeping, and sores, from your wounds the fester pours. You wanted a full-on evil anger, make my friends hate me deck. You said it could be any color, and you gave me a euro limit. So, I humbly present to you Asmerolda Martica Diskidakoldakar. As long as you discarded a card this turn, you may pay red-black to cast this. When Asmerolda Martica Diskidakoldakar enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card named the Underworld Cookbook. Reveal it, put it into your hand. You may sacrifice 2 foods, and target creature deals 6 damage to itself. Do you understand how funny it's going to be to watch your friends... Okay. You have a button that says every creature turns into Kurt Cobain. You just go, you know, every creature on your opponent's battlefield now reads what's his name? Who totally offed himself in his jail cell. Harvey Weinstein? No. What was his name? The guy that we all know didn't off himself in jail. The one that had the island. Epstein, yeah. All of your opponents are now Epstein. Like, you are gonna... So, welcome. So, now ready? Ready? There's a bigger joke in here, too. Azrael to Marnica? What you're not going and getting the Underworld cookbook. You're going and getting the Epstein files. That's what you're getting. So you need to make a alternate art of Azrael to Koldakar that says the CIA, and then the Underworld cookbook is the Epstein files. That was the whole joke that I wrote this deck around, Flubsy. That's the whole joke. This deck is awful in a good way. Awful in a good way. Okay, Flubsy, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but I actually came in under budget. It was really easy to build this deck, so you have room for upgrades. We're under budget. Let's get into this. Okay. So, this deck loves Cauldron Familiar. We want to make food. Cauldron Familiar is one of the most important cards to find in this deck because it combos with Academy Manufacturer and any way to reanimate it. We have lots of that in the deck. It allows us to make infinite foods, meaning we can make all of our opponent's creatures infinitely deal damage to themselves. But even better, we can make our own creatures deal infinite damage to themselves via Stuffy Doll. Stuffy Doll is indestructible. It says whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to a chosen player. You instead infinitely choose Stuffy Doll, kill your opponents. Very fun. So you get to beat yourself in the head with a hammer and it kill everybody else. Genius. The commander is insanely easy to cast. It's literally 1 mana. All you have to do is discard a card, which you have a lot of that in this deck. And then we're running a lot of wheels. Now, Flubsy, if you can get your hands on a Wheel of Fortune for this deck, do it. You will not regret it. Wheel of Fortune is not a game changer on top of that. So put as many, you're going to want as many wheeling effects in this deck as possible. Trust me. I just realized I didn't put Winds of Change in the deck, so let me actually fix that real quick. Cool. And then, as a result of all the discarding, we have Anger, which is going to give all of our creatures haste, and we have Hazel's Brewmaster to steal things. Archfiend of Ifnir says, whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature or on each creature your opponents control. Obviously, a wheel immediately makes that work. I highly suggest putting in. Oh wait, that's what we can use the rest of your budget for. Duh, Orcish Bowmaster. What am I smoking? Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Now we're officially at 100 cards. Now this deck makes sense. Sick. I'm glad we finished it right here at the end. We have Anye Falkenrath. It is pronounced Anye. I do have that as confirmation. Anye says discard a card, draw a card, and whenever you discard a card, if it has madness, untap Anye. We have untap loops with this because we have a lot of madness cards. We do have ways to sacrifice our creatures, as that is slightly important to our game plan, and we do want extra treasures, so we do have that and Pitiless Plunderer. And then as you can see, there's some big mana creatures, very big mana creatures. We're going to let those speak for themselves when we play the deck here in a little bit. So we want to sacrifice our creatures, and we want to discard cards. That's the biggest thing we want to be doing, is discarding cards. So Bone Shard says discard a card, destroy a target creature. Burning Inquiry. Each player draws 3 cards, then discards 3 at random. This is the funniest turn 1 play possible. It's basically as funny as a wheel, and you can cast your commander with it afterwards because you've now discarded a card. Faithless Looting. Discard a card, draw 2 cards. Winds of Change. Wheel your hand. Tormenting Voice. Discard a card, draw 2 cards. Are you seeing a pattern? Also, things like Village Rites and Deadly Dispute are very helpful in that aspect. But then we also have like Demand Answers, Faithless Salvaging that also do the same thing. Thrill of Possibility, Unexpected Windfall, Big Score. That's what this whole deck is about. And then, as you may have noticed, we have Animate Dead, Dance of the Dead, and Waste Not, things to manage our graveyard and benefit from discarding things, as well as Dread Return. And then we're going to get all this cool stuff back from our graveyard as a result, which obviously we'll be seeing soon. This deck runs things like Blasphemous Act. It runs Blasphemous Edict. It runs just some nasty, nasty evil cards, as you have asked me to. Then we have the Epstein Files. We've got Underworld Cookbook. Tap, discard a card, create a food token. 4 colors, tap, sacrifice the Underworld Cookbook, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, baby. We love to see it. We love to see it. And a way to sacrifice these things via Astronaut's Altar, which is normally what we're going to be doing in order to recur the kitty. Now, there's a really big card in this list called the Containment Construct. 2 colorless. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. That is very, very good in this deck. Bone Miser. I don't believe I included Bone Miser, but it's not a bad inclusion. Totally understand on that one. So, let's show how this deck plays, because it does not look as cool. Yeah, Bone Miser does work. It's just like Waste Not, effectively. It's just a bit high mana because it's like 5 or 6 mana. And so I didn't put it in. You're going to notice you're going to have this deck is just chocked full of 1 and 2 CMC spells. Like, just it's stupid amount of them. And then it has a ton of then like 7 mana plus. I wanted there to be a gap. So that is a big part of this. So we're going to be running God of Storytelling. Obviously, we're going to be running Birgi, and we're going to be running Electro, because we are running an intense amount of instant and sorceries. But the one thing that going through testing, and I wanted to show you this, originally the deck is supposed to be evil, right, Flubsy? So I put in things like Braids, right? And I pulled in things like Wafts and Ardent. But things like this did not work out in testing because we don't sacrifice enough things. So that went out immediately when I was testing the deck. The next thing that went out when I was looking at this, things like Terminate Agony are a black and a red to play. It's very easy and it's got a madness cost. We loved things like that. But things like a Deadly Dispute, I ended up never wanting to sack the things I had, but it was such good card draw I couldn't get over it. Considering we make so many foods. But then as a result, Baked into a Pie, which is 4 CMC, even though it's creating a food token, it destroys your creature, it's an instant, it's just too high mana. It's too high mana. And there were a lot of cards like that consistently were just not enough for what we wanted. Same with Pain for All, because we want things that we can spam play. This is a very low CMC deck. So now let's play test this bad boy here. Let's get our first hand. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 lands, a Birgi, a Wheel of Misfortune, and a Stuffy Doll. This hand does not do what we want to do. We ended up hitting all of our mid, like, CMC cards. So, not something we're excited about. So, we're going to ship that and go to our second 7. We've got a wheel, a draw spell, and 2 things that we do want to reanimate, but nothing else in hand to do it. So we're gonna pitch that one back as well. There we go. Okay, so we already got Cookbook in hand, which is a little meh. We have something we want to reanimate. We have a way to discard and draw, and we have 2 lands and big score. We don't have a way to cast this unless Felwar Stone can hit red, which isn't a bad thing. So we're gonna keep this hand as long as your opponents are playing red. If your opponents aren't playing red, don't keep the hand, because then you don't have the mana you need. So we'll draw for turn, play Underworld Cookbook. Then we're going to play 2 lands and Felwar Stone. Turn 3, we can now cast Big Score. Big Score says, as additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. We're going to discard Archfiend of Despair, which we want in our graveyard. Then we're going to draw 2 cards, and we're going to make 2 treasure tokens. We're going to sack a treasure, and we're going to put Azmoral Martica out. And when it enters the battlefield, we can search for it. It's already in our hand, so if we want to shuffle, we can. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then we're going to tap this and we're going to discard one of the lands we don't need, and we're going to make a food token. Bonk. Awesome. Next turn. Play Sulfur Spings. And then we are going to tap, discard a mountain, make a food. You staying with me, chat? You staying with me on this? Are we seeing what we're cooking? Because we are cooking. We are literally a cook. And then we are going to cast Demand Answers. Additional costs. We're going to sacrifice an artifact. We're going to sacrifice this food token. We're going to draw 2 cards. Awesome, awesome. We're going to Deadly Dispute, sack a food, draw 2 cards, make a treasure. And then we're going to cast Containment Construct. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so we are just churning through the deck, as you can see. But now we found a payoff for discarding. We found Containment Construct. So let's show you how this works. We're going to play Mountain Doom. Tap 3. And we're going to Wheel of Misfortune. We're gonna say 15 life. That's normally enough. We get to discard our hand, but we get to exile those cards so we can play them and this turn still. So that goes to graveyard. Tormenting Voice, this mountain, and Anye gets to go into like a nice secret exile pile due to containment. And then we're gonna draw 7. Awesome. Awesome sauce. And now we can discard Witch's Oven. It goes into exile with containment. Make a food token. Ooh, and then we have Jaxus. And we have Repercussions. Not bad, not bad. We're going to do 2 mana Tormenting Voice. Discard a card. We're going to discard probably a land because we want to keep some of these. Yeah, we'll discard a land. We're going to draw 2 cards. That'll go into graveyard. And then we're going to use the remaining mana we have to cast probably Jaxus and let all this go to exile, and that's fine. And so this is what like a churn deck looks like. We're going to continually be making value constantly. Eventually, we're going to hit one of our reanimation spells. We've been pretty unlucky so far, and we haven't found one yet. We can now either make a copy if we want to with Jaxus, which would be pretty cool. We can use Warren Sword Trader or Repercussion, and we can continue to discard and make food tokens. So as you can see, this deck gets to take a lot of game actions. You have a lot of ability. Like right now, you could kill any creature your opponents have by sacking through Azmoral Martika at the moment. And anything you discard right now gets to go into an exile pile that you can play. Repercussions. Oh, Dion, I'm so excited, dude. Yeah, dude, it's such a great deck. I'm so proud of it. I'm glad you like it. So Repercussions now says also every time you do the food thing we just talked about, Azmoral Martika does 6 damage to that creature, and Repercussion is going to deal 6 damage to that creature's controller. So now you're just shooting people for 2 damage, or for 6 damage. Saver is going to allow us to make another food token and do it twice. So we've now killed 2 creatures and done 12 damage to somebody with this. Next turn, yeah, we ended up flooding out, which sucks, which is really weird. We drew 15 lands in the top 30 cards when we only have 36 lands. You may want to lower your land count with this deck. That may not be a bad idea. You know? But I digress. The fun part of the deck is that we can continue to churn like we just did, continue to make food, continue to get an insane amount of value, and then if you're lucky enough, you may hit one of these gigantic things to put in your graveyard, and then put in, you can either use Reanimate, Dread Return, Animate Dead, or Dance of the Dead. So I think after the testing I did today, at least, I think the right call is to remove some lands and put in 1 or 2 more animation spells you have the budget for. Because right now we are at your budget. We are at 500 euro exactly. So whatever other animate spells you have from your collection, I'd put them in. Yeah. Yep. He's cooking. Yep. Dion, glad you're here. Glad you enjoyed your deck. Oh my gosh. That deck was a masterpiece to show off. That was amazing. Thank you for ordering that list and letting me go nuts. That was sick. Man, that was awesome. Yeah, if you guys missed it, after the stream, go back and watch Dion's deck. Abaddon, it's insane. That deck was crazy. Oh my gosh. Our 4th deck of the day out of 6. Sir Trekkie, it's time! Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. It's time for Annex Hardened in the Forge. Okay, guys, we have a little bit of a story behind this deck. We like story time around here, right? That's what we do. Oh, hi, Kitty. Hey, buddy. Kitty's here. Do I have the cat camera on this scene? I don't think I do. Let me add the cat camera. Video source. Cat cam. Boom. Aww. Good kitty. Good kitty. Let's fix the cat camera real quick. We're going to rotate it. Oh, I rotated the wrong thing. Cat camera, transform, rotate. Cat camera goes behind everything else. Boop. Cutie patootie. Look at him. Aww. Also very bright. Why is the cat camera so bright? Is it the gain? Ah, that's what it is. There we go. Kitty. Sorry, Diffcat. As I understand, the deck is finished, or do I need to adjust it still? Remove lands, add in more. Oh, so Flubsy, what I do is on stream, I'll normally recommend some things that are like possible for the deck if you want to do them. But in general, whenever I send you the deck, which will be tonight, I'll have already made those changes for you. That was more me just thinking out loud. I never send anyone a deck that isn't finalized and finished. Don't worry. What's up, Blainable? Okay, so story time on Annex Hardened of the Forge. Let's talk about him. So Annex won me my first standard tournament post-COVID. I played mono red count to 4. It's where you went 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, and then you played Embercleave, and it won the game immediately with this deck. It was so much fun. After it rotated out of standard, I decided to build it into a commander deck. And it was like one of my favorite decks ever. And then I didn't touch it for like literally like 4 years. And so I've had this idea to update a really good Annex deck for like 4 years now. And so I asked chat, I was like, hey, if anyone wants Annex, please let me know. I'll build it for you. I'm like really excited about this, this deck. It's really fun. And Sir Trekkie from the top rope ordered the deck. This deck is nasty. It is nasty. I think this deck plays best at bracket 3, or sorry, at bracket 2, but I think we pushed this one to bracket 3, if I'm not mistaken, on the request. So we're gonna go over that. So this deck features some small 1 red mana creatures, but in general, it is trying to put the highest amount of devotion on the field as possible. So let's count our total devotion just on creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. So just within your creatures, if you had every creature out on this from the deck right now, you'd have 46 power on this commander just due to devotion. Very fun. But there's a secondary line in this deck where you care about Annex dying, and you use him as a token generator. you make sure that he has at least 4 devotion, so his power's 4 or greater, and he makes 2 1/1 creatures. And then we're going to abuse using those creatures to cast a bunch of spells. Then on top of that, we have things like Battle Hymn. We have a ton of stuff getting made. Battle Hymn is an awesome way to get a bunch of mana. Seething Song, obviously, we all know this, but also Skull Clamp, using all of those. So we're fine if he dies. So we're not trying to give our commander like indestructible, hexproof. This isn't Voltron. But would it really be that bad if you put an Embercleave on him and immediately made him a 5/5 with double strike trample? Would it really be that bad if you also put a Buster Sword on him and now he's an 8/9 with trample, double strike, and draws a card when you do damage, and you get to play a spell for free? And would it really be that bad if they had a +1/+1 counter on it for every land you controlled, plus lifelink, and they can't cast spells on your turn? Would that really be that bad? No, it wouldn't. It's pretty fun. So we left that in. This deck does play Power Balance because it is a very well-rounded deck, and there's a lot of different CMCs in the deck. So there's a high chance Power Balance will actually trigger and cast us some spells, which is pretty sick. Impact Tremors because we have a lot of tokens coming down. Goblin Bombardment because we do have things to sack. And then Claws of the Valakut because guess what? We're playing 31 mountains. So Claws of the Valakut is going to give us +1/+0 for each mountain our control, and we gain first strike. So very fun. This is a very straightforward deck. But what we do like to do in red is hand disruption. We believe in our deck, and we believe a wheel is always going to help us. So we're running Reforge the Soul, which is the Miracle Wheel, and Wheel of Fortune. And then we're running things like Infernal Plunge. We have some things to steal creatures like Claim the Firstborn. And then the killer in this deck, this is how we want to win most of the time. Just puke devotion onto the field. So much red pips. And then we cast Chandra's Ignition. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. So we're going to build our devotion up like crazy, get Annex up to like, 30/30, and then deal 30 damage to everyone with Annex after swinging with them and already getting them down to 30 life. So let's show what this looks like for a second, shall we? We want to make sure that we can cast our spells. Right now we have 2 lands and no castables in hand other than Conqueror's Veil. I believe within 3 draws, we'll find another mountain. This is an acceptable hand, in my opinion. So we're going to try it out here. We're going to draw, play a mountain. Next turn, draw, Conqueror's Veil. Next turn, we brick. Okay, so maybe you shouldn't do that. Turn 3, Claim the Firstborn. Yeah, okay. So unlucky, considering we're running the proper amount of lands. Let's talk about this a little more. Reset here. Ooh. Yeah. Unlucky on that hand. Down to 6. Nope. Down to 5. There we go. Yeah, that works fine. We're going to bottom of the library. 2 cards. Awesome. And we'll draw for turn. Land. Next turn, we're going to do Mountain, Power Balance. On average, on turn 2, at least 2 people are going to play two CMC spells. Let's see if we hit. Flip the cop cards, Faithless Looting. Someone plays a Mana Dork, Power Balance, cast. We get to play Faithless Looting. That's not uncommon on turn 2. We'll draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. So we'll draw 2. We're going to put back the Kiki and the Ashnods. You don't need either of those right now. Next turn. Land. We could do Chain Whirler. Yeah. Chain Whirler first. No. Chain Whirler second. Yeah. So we cast the Annex. Next turn is Arcane Signet first? No, it's the Goblin Chain Whirler for sure, isn't it? Yeah. So Goblin Chain Whirler. It deals 1 damage to each opponent, each creature they control. We take out some of the dorks, things like that. And now Annex is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 power on our commander on turn 4 currently. It's turn 4. Someone's going to play a 3-drop and a 4-drop. Let's see if the top of our library has either of those. It does. We get to cast Seething Song. Awesome. We get 5 red mana. We can then cast Curse Mirror. And we can cast our Black Braid Reforged for free from Power Balance. Awesome. Next turn, we've got the ability to tap for red, cast Battle Hymn. Oh, no, we don't need to cast that yet. We don't have more than 2 creatures. How do we want to do that? Yeah, I guess you just cast Arcane Signet. 3. Attach. And now our commander is a 13-13? Yeah, so on turn 5, in like a bracket 2 game, a 13-13 is pretty fun. Swing in. Nice. Birgi, cast the backside, discard our hand, get to exile 4 that we get to play. Nice. Blades, give it double strike. Okay, now Annex has double strike and currently plus 15, or he's 15 power. So we have a double striking 15-15. So, pretty good. Oh, and due to Birgi, due to the extra mana, we also get to cast Conqueror's Flail. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's not bad. That's fun as hell. Here we go. Yeah, this is another good hand to play. We'll show you guys this one. Land, Skull Clamp. Next turn, land, Arcane Signet. Next turn, bing bop boop, Annex. Turn 4. Ooh, that's fun. That's fun. We can either cast the Ball Lightning, which sacrifices the end, and then we can swing in for, what, 5 damage plus 6 from this. So if we want to, like, do early damage, we can. Instead of that, I highly suggest playing Birgi instead. Next turn. Cast Fervent Champion. We get a red from Birgi, so we have a red floating now. And then, hey, what's up, Kevin? Welcome. Amen's in the chat for Kevin, y'all. All my homies love Kevin. What is up? And then after that, we can cast Lizard Blades, and with the extra red, attach it. And now we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a 6 power Annex of the Forge with double strike. Ooh. Very fun. Very fun list. Kevin, thank you so much for the gifted sub. What is up? Is it Delatopper? Yeah, Delatopper. Welcome to the Kitty Committee. Welcome to the Kitten Court. But yeah, this is how I love to play Annex the Forge, guys. I think this deck is extremely fun at bracket 2. It's not often that I get to make a bracket 2 list. That's fun. You know what I mean? I think most of the time whenever we're talking about bracket 2, it's normally a deck that is meant to be like low powered so you don't offend anybody. But this is low powered where it's like slow and fun. How much would it cost to do a sticker cube for a patron? Nocturne, I am very interested in your question. Please provide me more details. Do you mean that like someone sends me all of their cards, like their physical cards, and I like manually sticker their cube for them? Is that what you're talking about? Or do you mean like make all the decks for them and then they would physically make it? So you mean like I design a sticker cube? Okay. Nocturne, I have a surprise for you. That's happening. I have a huge thing going on in October where in one order you get there's like a bunch of packages. But, yeah, Death Cat Sweatshop incoming, yeah. No, I can never sticker all that myself. But what you do is you order 5. You get, like, I think it's like 5 to 10 decks or something like that. And effectively, I make a Commander cube where every commander is something wildly different, like an insane amount different, but then they share enough cards that it's like a really nice sticker cube to have. But it's still a Wooburg sticker cube. Yeah, I'm very excited to show that off. That's going to be fun. That's in October. But Sir Trekkie, I don't know if you're here, but how do we feel about your Bracket 2 Annex of the Forge? How do we feel about it? Nocturne, the stickering would take hours. I don't think I would ever sell me physically making it just because of the time. It would cost a lot. I think that would cost a little too much than what people would want to pay for me having to do all that manual labor. It would be something where I make all the decks and teach you, like, you would be able to see where all the stickers go, and it'd be really easy. I mean, if you got the money for it, I'm happy to, like, put that as an option on the store. If you're interested, I'm happy to. Yeah, sticker cubes are the bomb. I have mine right next to me right now. Let me show you guys. Ta-da! Got my sticker cube right here. And I have my low power sticker cube next to it, which is pretty fun. You guys, I'm assuming everyone here probably, you are interested. Awesome. Well, sick. I will definitely be putting that up soon. That'll be before October is when you'll see it. I'm about to put together my low power sticker cube. So this is anything bracket 2 and below. So I've officially decided I'm going to make my sticker cube be, one is bracket 3 and higher. So that includes game changers. And then my other sticker cube is bracket 2 and low. That's like the new iteration of sticker cube. A sticker cube is where you add these tiny little stickers to the bottom left of the inner sleeve of a card. I think I've got one near me I can probably show. There we go. So, see how this card has, here, I'm just going to make myself really, really tall. What's up, Nocturne? Welcome to the kitten court. Making myself real big here. Okay. See this? See this card? See on the corner? It's got these little stickers. That shows me what decks this card goes in. So now, whenever I want to find the deck, all I have to do is see as I'm flicking through, I can see all the stickers. See how there's stickers on every little ridge here? Now I can easily go flick, flick, flick. Oh, not that card. Flick, flick, flick. Oh, not that card. Flick, flick. And put the deck in my hand. Takes like 3 minutes. And now I can pull out, you know, any deck I want from my entire collection of Magic. And build any deck from my collection in 3 minutes. And I don't have to ever have a secondary copy of any of the cards. And as a result, I sold the secondary copies and I bought the actual versions I wanted to. That I got like the really fancy versions. So that's what a sticker cube is. If you want to know more, I have a video on my channel about it. Yeah. Kevin, oh my gosh. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, it's my favorite way to have decks because I am very particular about the art and the cards. I'm a big Magic art collector. Thanks to Kevin here. Kevin's the one who got me addicted to that. Thanks a lot. But we have 2 more decks today, y'all. We got 2 more decks today. I don't want to run out of time. Let's make sure we get them. Our next deck is a Reaper King deck for Olivia. I was not expecting Reaper King to show up. That was a very weird request. This is like way out there from what we normally build here on the channel. So this is yep, go Daquan. Absolutely, yeah, Daquan got us into sticker cubing. So the deck request said that they wanted this deck to be $100, which immediately for a Wooburg commander, I was like, $100? But then they said they do already have all the fetches and shocks, so the land base didn't count. The non-land cards just needed to be $100. So I was like, okay, that's totally doable now. That makes sense. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Reaper King, it says whenever another Scarecrow comes into play under your control, destroy target permanent. I hate to break it to you guys, there's like 6 Scarecrows in the entire game. So what we do is we use cards that are shapeshifters, that are Scarecrows on a technicality. So we've got Heap Doll, Scartiller, Scuttlemutt, Wild Field. I think there should be one more Scarecrow. Yes, and then Pila Pila. I think those are all of our official Scarecrows. Ah, no. And then Scarecrow. I forgot they made one in Jumpstart. Yep. Exactly. The technically correct, best kind of correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we're going to be doing some fun shapeshifter things where whenever we cast one of our shapeshifters, we get to destroy target permanent. Guys. This does not say destroy target non-land permanent. It says destroy target permanent. It's insane. Oh, these cards are untappers. Pila Pila doesn't tap. It untaps itself to make mana. Yeah. A lot of the Scarecrow cards were about that. It's really weird, isn't it? It untaps to filter mana. Very strange card. Correct, Tyler. If your opponents no longer have any things or any permanents, it's a must. It says destroy target permanent. End of story. That was a military command, mofo. It's happening whether you want it to or not. So, let's get into this. Yarok the Desecrated is going to be doubling the triggers from our commander. Yarok used to be like a $30 card. It's now like $5, so it's perfect for this budget commander build. The only other expensive thing I put in the section for this is Morph on the Boundless. That way we can make our Scarecrows cost less to cast. After that, we are running Mass Eviction as a cheap removal spell. Same with Mythos of Snapdax. So it allows us to wipe the board. And then we have Rite of Replication as a very cheap copy spell. Distant Melody is going to be drawing us cards for every Scarecrow we control. And then Fuzzy, you said, if your opponents don't have permanents, I think you're doing it right. Exactly. That just means don't cast anything. You know, he's got to be careful. We have Paradoxical Outcome. I only know about this card due to Kevin. Funny enough, that's in chat here. It says, return any number of non-land token permanents you control to their hand. Draw a card for each one returned this way. This card is so much fun in Vintage. We're going to use Paradoxical Outcome to put back all of the Scarecrows and then re-trigger. We have things like Dovin's Veto that recently got reprinted and are very cheap. And also, oh my gosh, that art is gorgeous. We have Ghostly Flicker to re-ETB, Ephemerate, and then Essence Flux, which should have been in the deck. I don't know where it went. There it is, Essence Flux to re-ETB. Then we also have Conjurer's Closet, which allows at the end step, you may exile target creature you control. So now we can continually repeat these effects at every end step. And then to close out the game, once we've denied our opponents all this value, we want to play Coat of Arms. Is there a way you can recast everything once you paradox back in hand? Yes, we are running a stupid amount of mana rocks just to begin with. And also, we have Semblance Anvil, which I know you love that card. Herald's Horn to make them cheaper, as well as Morophon. And this deck is running at bracket 3 at a $100 budget. So trust me, we're holding on to dear life here. After that, going in with wanting to destroy our opponent's stuff, I wanted to lean into this theme, so I got the Game Changer Aura Shards. It is the most expensive card in the deck at $20. It says, whenever a creature comes into play under your control, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. This is going to double up basically what we're already doing with our commander and double down on it. We also have Kindred Discovery. So we choose Scarecrow, and it says whenever a creature you control the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. This is an insanely good card draw spell for this deck. We have Cryptolith Right, so we can add 1 mana of any color by tapping our creatures. This helps us get our commander out for a lot cheaper. Yeah, sit this baby. It is not a Coalition Victory deck. No, but it's not a bad deck to be playing Coalition Victory in. But they specifically wanted to win with the Scarecrows, so we're leaning really hard into this. Yeah, it's really fun. Ah, Teleportation Circle. Hear me out from Tyler. Teleportation Circle. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature you control. Then that card enters the battlefield again. Absolutely. Tyler again, top roping us, baby. Hell yeah, we love that. Gold star. Big boom for Tyler. We love that. It will push us out of budget, but I'm going to leave it in there for the person who wanted this deck to know it. They might like it enough to want to buy it. Lucky TE, hey Defcat, glad to see you on stream again. Updated my brother's Yisan deck. Currently, I'm playing VV, and I am 11th in South Africa. Holy crap. Dude, Lucky, congratulations. That is awesome. You go, dude. Hell yeah. Congrats. That's awesome. We love to hear that. So, let's show you guys the deck. Let's get it here on the playfield. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we have 2 lands, we have a Signet, and then we have an artifact to make more creatures. So here's the thing. Right now, we're going to have access to 3 of the 5 pips we need for this commander. So as long as by turn 3 we get a land, we're in good shape. The problem is right now, we don't have a single castable except for Aura Shards in hand, but Birthing Bows is castable. It's just not activatable. So it's one of those things. Yeah, Kevin, that I was told no Gaia's Cradle. Yeah, it would have been pretty sick. I agree. You got to start a Hear Me Out Gold Star chat. Yes, Tyler. So here's the thing. If you guys didn't see this, go watch the most recent Def Chat, the most recent vlog on my channel that you have access to because you're channel members. I showed off. I just bought like 10 fully animated emotes for the channel that are coming out next week. I hope you guys are excited. So we will have that and special chatter things as well. So let's see here. Okay, cool. There we go. This is a risky hand, but it's got a huge payoff. So I'd like to keep it. So I'll draw for turn, Battle for Promenade. Next turn, Blood Crypt into Azorius Signet. Next turn, again, this is bracket 2, guys. Or sorry, this is bracket 3, lower bracket 3. So we can take time to ramp. It's not going to be the end of the world. And then we need white and blue. So we're going to go get it's not Godless Shrine, that's white black. White blue is Hollowed Fountain. Bonk. Oh, yeah. So we get Hollowed Fountains with the Marsh Flats. And then we're going to go ahead and cast our Birthing Bows. Next, we either get a land and we can go for it here and play our commander, or we're going to just do some generic extra help. So let's see what happens. We don't get the land. That's okay. Now, Aura Shards can be played here, and then by next turn, we can start making Shapeshifters. We instead, if we had the mana, would like to play the Kindred Discovery, but it's 5 mana. So right now we're on Soul Herder and Aura Shards. Soul Herder would be great if we were already playing out a bunch of our creatures. So instead we're going to play the Aura Shards. Bonk. Next turn, we don't get it again. We pay 4, make the 2/2, Aura Shards activates, and we're starting to destroy our friend's stuff. Ooh, Ephemerate. Interesting. So we have the 2/2 colorless creature token out. We have the Shapeshifter out. 1, 2, 3, Soul Herder. And then we're going to ephemerate the shapeshifter. But it's, oh, we can't do that. It's a token. So we have to wait on that. So Soul Herder comes in, activates Aura Shards. Then Soul Herder does it again. Aura Shards activates. It's not the worst thing in the world. So we've now Aura Shards 4 times. I mean, we're definitely destroying our friend stuff. Luxury Suite finally hit the land we needed. Reaper King comes out. It's time to do shenanigans. Aura Shards activates. Boom, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is great. We have a Wayfarer's Bauble into making another Spirit token. Spirit activates the Reaper King, and it activates Aura Shards. And then I'm going to clean up our battlefield here a little bit. Awesome. And then we get to re-ETB Soul Herder again, Aura Shards. Very easy. We can Wayfarer's Bauble, go get more land if we want. But at this point, we want to do Kindred Discovery. We'll attack in with all the shapeshifters, and we'll draw 3. Nice. We get to play Sea of Clouds, play at our signets, and from there, the game's doing what it wants to do. The frustrating part was that we missed those land drops. So I think when doing this, that showed how important it is and how centric the Commander is to our gameplay. So let's give it another shot. Windswept Heath. We're gonna go get not Verdant Catacombs, sorry. Under Stadium, not Stadium. Overgrown Tomb. So you have access to black and green. Next turn, we want to cast our Vault of Champions into a Azorius Signet. Then it's City of Brass, Signet. And then probably the Changeling, but that's our only shapeshifter in hand. So it's going to be Chief Engineer. Yeah, because Cryptolith Right's not going to help us as much as we think it is, due to we wanting to save back our Commander. So Commander comes down. And it had Convoke, sorry. So we actually had 1 mana left up there if we wanted to. And now we're off to the races. And this is turn 4. This is going to be fun. So we have Cryptolith Right. This allows our creatures to tap for mana. We can tap. And then play to Kindred Discovery. So we'll leave our creatures up. We'll just pay for it. And then we're going to attack in with Reaper King to draw a card. Turn 5 is Scalding Tarn into Old Fountain, right? No. We want Steam Vents. That's what it is. Steam Vents. And then we can Mirror Entity, trigger Reaper King. And we have more Cryptolith Right, and we draw a card through Kindred Discovery. Yeah, Arcane Signet, we can Convoke out. Play Arcane Signet, why not? Prime Councils. Now we get to draw a card at our end step due to the fact that we have the largest artifact out as well. Yeah, Reflections of Littjara, totally agree. And then we have Rite of Replication for that, so we draw 3. Yeah, so this deck gets to draw through itself, and we have now destroyed 4 permanents from our opponents. So yeah, I agree with that. Let's go ahead and put in Reflections of Littjara. So this is one of the few decks, I think, in the now 65 decks I've created that I was like, okay, this is clearly not a theme I would have chosen. And I feel like if I want to play this theme, I'd want it to be powerful because it's all about like destroying all my friends' stuff, and I want it to be full on evil. Making a $100 version of a really evil deck is a weird spot for me personally, but every play group is so different that I'm sure this is going to be very fun for them because they know what they want. So I'm gonna put the seal of approval on this deck. I think we're happy with where it ended, considering what it's attempting to do with the budget it's on. So I'm pretty happy with how this one came together. What do you guys think? You guys pretty happy with this one? Did I forget to put Soul Ring in here? Oh my god. I forgot to put Soul Ring in here. The budget was €100 on this one. The budget I personally would push this deck to is like 400. Oh, what's up, Queen? Okay, you're Olivia. Solid. I personally would push this deck to like $400 for a couple reasons. I love being able to put combos in a deck like this, where I can get like infinite re-ETBs. And so that would all start with the card Displacer Kitten. It says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to one non-land permanent you control and then return it to the battlefield. This is an expensive card on its own. It's like 20 bucks. And so then when you're playing Reaper King, every single time you cast any of your non-creature spells, which we have 20, 31, we have 36. Every time we cast one of our 36 non-creature spells, oh wait, I didn't even count enchantments. 36. We have 43. If we have Displacer Kitten out, it allows us to flicker one of our scarecrows and destroy one of our friends' permanents. But that would have been a fifth of the budget. And there's a lot of cards like that in the game that I would really like to have in this deck. And I want the counter magic to I want to have like enough counter spells to keep the commander alive, to keep doing that function where we're destroying our friends' permanents. And I also want a way to keep our commander alive because I wanted to get out earlier before our friends have disruption. So I want to be able to play Mana Vault. I really want to be able to play some of the higher mana, some of the faster mana spells. Dark Ritual is cheap. That'd be a good inclusion in here as well. But at the budget you're at, this is going to be very fun. Like, absolutely. I just think that this is the kind of deck that when you are ready to upgrade it, either with proxies for free or on a budget, you should definitely push it. So, because you ordered this deck from me, if you want to see that version, if you want to see that edited version of it, submit it as your deck fix for the month that you get, because you get a free deck roast. So submit that on the Discord, Olivia, and then I can make that version for you as well if you're interested. That way you can just see what it would look like. Y'all, it's time. Final deck of the day, Malacrosis. Everyone, I want to put some hands together quick. Big amens in the chat from Malacrosis. This is our mod on stream here. It's time to show you the deck I built you. So there's a story behind this deck, y'all, as there has been with two other decks today. But this story comes from Malacrosis themselves. I hope you're excited. Okay, so Malacrosis, you put in your personalized deck tech form, you said, "Hey Def, so the situation is the pod is that my friends play Wilhelm, the Rot Cleaver, Braids, a Risen Nightmare, and a commander that sacks on entry. So between all these decks, it's a whole lot of Grave Pact, Ravenous Rotbelly, Sephiroth. Yeah, it's a lot of graveyard shenanigans, guys. It's a lot of graveyard shenanigans over at Malacrosis pod. So you said, must I join them? Must I crew in their debauchery? Oh, what do we do?" Oh, Alurin. Yeah, Kevin, Alurin's really good for the Reaper King. I agree. I don't know if that's expensive, but that could fit in the budget as well, Queen. I'll think about that for the upper budget version I'm making later for Olivia. So, should Malacrosis have to join these degenerate graveyard players? I don't think so. I don't think so. I do not believe we must have to do that. No. Yo, what's up, Sir Trekkie? I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Yes. Love me some Annex. Oh my gosh. So, here's the thing. Are you ready? Are you ready, y'all? We're not going to join the Reanimator Dirty Decks. We're not going to try to survive the Reanimator Dirty Decks. We're not going to abuse them. We're not going to try to stop them. We're not going to, like, hit their graveyards. We're not going to be even attempting to look their way. And what was that? What did I just say? The way? That way? What was that? Huh? Norrin, the way. What is up? Hey, Angle, how you doing? Yeah, just play Rest in Peace, exactly. So, everybody. I don't know if you've seen this card before. It says, whenever a player casts a spell, plays a spell, or a creature attacks, remove Norrin from the game. Completely. If your friends ever try to sack your commander or like board wipe anything, boop. You ready? This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go, what'd you cast? Oh, you casted something? What was that? On your turn. It's just, someone does anything, you just go, and then you're back, baby. So, the idea is that your pod wants to be able to take yo stuff. We ain't gonna let them, because you ain't gonna be playing it. So, we have all spells that are either really good late game and good, like a Tally Primal Storm, you know, because this card's just fun. It's at a good budget level. It's good for your play group. And then we also have Annex, which is going to be giving you things when it dies. So we want things either that your opponents probably don't want to kill, or by the time that it comes down, it's already a huge problem. So this deck plays better than it looks in practice as a result. So the creatures don't matter a whole bunch. These are things that we're fine with dying and or give us at least a little life pressure total by making us tokens. Now, we do want to draw through our deck. So we have Faithful Saluting. We have Tempt with Vengeance to make more tokens. We have Vandal Blast to stop people from doing things. And then we have wheels like Reforge the Soul in order to wheel people through things. And then Blasphemous Act to stop them from doing what they want to do. But the biggest thing we do is we often exile cards off the top of our library that we can play until the end of our next turn as pseudo card draw. And then when your friends try to do some BS, such as like casting Cyclonic Rift or whatever, not Cyclonic Rift, but a card that normally has a target, Ricochet Trap can move it and you can start screwing with their stuff. So that's very fun. This is like a cheap version of Deflecting Swap. So our mana, obviously, as you can see, is on the slim side because we do not need it. Norrin is a 1 mana spell. That means you are going to be casting your commander every game on turn 1. Every game. There's never a point to casting anything else because you'd rather Norrin be out than Sol Ring. Always. Almost always, like 99% of the time. Now, why do we want to play Norrin? It's because we're going to have things like Impact Tremors that whenever he re-enters the battlefield, it does 1 damage to each opponent. This is also why we're playing a ton of cards that make tokens, because when we make tokens, it activates Impact Treasures. Then we also have cards like Fiery Emancipation that triples that damage we're doing. We have Grip of Chaos. Whenever a spell or ability is put on the stack, reselect its target at random. So, I need you to understand how funny this card is for your friends. They are going to activate Warren Soul Trader or Viscera Seer, whatever creature that allows them to sacrifice a creature to do whatever dumb BS graveyard loop they're going to be doing. And they're going to go, sorry, we're going to pick one of your creatures at random to sacrifice now. Do you know how funny that is? I cooked. This is such a deep random cut. I love it. Risky move. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player gains control of risky move. When you gain control of risky move from another player, choose a creature you control and an opponent. Flip a coin. If you lose the flip, that opponent gains control of that creature. Now your friends are stuck with random crap they don't want and can't sacrifice. Let's make this worse. Rite of the Raging Storm. Creatures named Rite of the Raging can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player creates a 5/1 red elemental token with trample and haste. This deck is looking to confuse everyone and constantly throw stuff to disrupt their game plan. So again, you asked me for a deck to deal with your friends doing powerful graveyard BS shenanigans. I wanted to make sure you don't have to small bean. You are going to be a bigger problem than they are. Their game plan, whatever they've got going on, they now have to pay attention to you. You are more important. For example, Planar Chaos. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, sacrifice it. But it says whenever a player plays a spell, flip a coin. If he or she loses the flip, counter that spell. It's so much fun. And then from Ron Spencer, again, love his art. Confusion in the ranks. Whenever an artifact, creature, or enchantment comes into play, its controller chooses a target permanent another player controls that shares a type with it, and they have to exchange control with them. Oh, I love this deck. I love this deck. It's so much fun. Possibility Store. Whenever a player casts a spell from his or her hand, that player exiles it, then exiles cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles a card that shares a card type with it. That player may cast that spell without paying its mana cost. Then he or she puts all cards exiled with Possibility Storm at the bottom of his or her library in random order. So, there's a lot I could go into with this deck. Let's show it off a little bit here, shall we, guys? Okay. Let me guess. We're going to play a Mountain and then our Commander. But we have some cards in our hand that we want to play that we can't due to not having a second red source here. So I don't like it as much. We can still play Swiftfoot Boots, which is cool, but that doesn't really help us. I was hoping we could cast Power Balance, but we didn't get a second red. So let's move on. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. This is a good hand. This is sick. Yeah, Emrakul into Goblin Bombardment. You know it. Awesome. One red, nor in the way. As God intended. Next turn. Soul Ring. Tap out. Professional Facebreaker, baby. And now Norin starts doing Norin things. We attack in. Oh, yeah, we would have made a creature. Or we would have made a treasure by attacking with Norin last turn. And then this turn, we can attack 2. And we make 2 treasures. Bonk. Bonk. Awesome. Now we've got... On turn 3, we have 7 mana. Not that bad, I guess, right? Just, 7 mana on turn 3. Or, yeah, turn 3. Whatever. I'm trying to think here. Normally, I'd want to cast Pandemonium right now. It says, whenever a creature enters the battlefield, that creature's controller may have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player of his or her choice. I think we like that, because Professional Facebreaker's probably not going to get killed, and even if it does, I think we're okay with it, because it's already given us such insane value. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah. Because we can cast both. We have 8 mana. Yeah, so we can cast Output Siege and Pandemonium by tapping out. Okay, good. That's what I thought. So it says, as output enters the battlefield, choose Cons or Dragons. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that land, play that card, or Dragons. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, it does 1 damage to any target. We obviously pick that. And then, in between... we're going to, our friends, obviously we're playing Commander, they're going to cast a spell. Norin disappears, does 1 damage to them, re-enters the battlefield, and then does two damage to any of their creatures. We do that every single turn. So if they have Viserys here, if they have Warren Soul Trader, if they have literally any creature that they're setting up to do their, graveyard, Saki, whatever shenanigans, we've killed all of them. We've wiped the board. Yeah. Next turn. Oh, if we attack in, if we can make even a single treasure, oh dear God. Let's say we only make one treasure because we needed Menace. Oh, we've wiped the board. Of course both get in. What am I talking about? Warp World. Let's view this one in a little bit here. Each player shuffles all permanents he or she controls into their library, then reveals that many cards off the top of her library. Each player puts all artifact, creatures, and lands revealed this way onto the battlefield, then does the same for enchantment cards, then puts all cards revealed this way that weren't onto the battlefield at the bottom of his or her library. Jeez, bro. Yes. Whenever a plays or a creature attacks, yeah. So we wouldn't make that treasure. So we don't have that treasure. We'd still have one treasure. You're right. My bad. I blanked on that one. Thank you for pointing that out. So we're going to shuffle all permanents, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 into our deck. Obviously, currently, it's only 9 because Norn is phased out. So we'll flip them over. Boop. That way, we're not tempted to accidentally do anything. So we're going to have 8 cards get shuffled into our library. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everything goes onto the battlefield. Okay, we got, what? 3 lands, 2 artifacts, Scrambleverse. Oh, those are sorceries. Sorry, so those will go to the bottom of the graveyard. These are all. Okay, cool. So we just got a bunch of mana. That's not bad. And then from there, we'd cast the rest of our hand. That's hilarious. Yeah. So this deck is meant to be chaotic, fun, mess with your friends, really evil. That's the theme I went for, Malacrosis. If you want to submit a deck next for next month that is like, you really want me to be effective against your pod, not just fun, let me know. But this was the route I took. I thought this would be super fun. But guys, that's end of stream today, y'all. That's all the time I had today. Yeah, it's a chaos deck that's meant to mess with people that play graveyard and sack centric decks. So specifically against those. That was the request. Y'all, end of stream. It's time for prayer requests. Let's pull up the prayer request form. Let's see if anyone has submitted a prayer request. I sadly had the wrong form up for a while, so there might not be any currently. Okay, we have no prayer requests on the forum currently, but I do have 2 DMs for them. So if you guys didn't know this, on the Discord, if you guys want, there's a prayer request forum, and we pray together at the end of stream. So that if you guys have any prayer requests, please put them there. But I'm going to go ahead and pray for us here, and we're going to end stream. You guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have not checked out the Patreon, it has been updated with some new tiers, and there's more to come this month, so give it a check out. I'm very excited to keep making y'all decks. This is the best job ever. This is amazing. Y'all, I'm going to pray us out real quick. Lord, thank you so much for this community. Thank you so much for the friends and everyone that we get to interact with here in the Discord. Lord, I pray that this weekend everyone is able to see one another, socialize, be healthy, get out there, get to have some great games, and that what we're going to do is set an example of Christ to those that we play Magic with. We're going to be thankful for them. We're going to be helpful, supportive, and we're going to be there for people that if at an LGS, if anyone gets harassed, we're going to stand up for them. We're going to do the right things. Lord, in your name we pray. Amen. Guys, thank you so much. Big amens. Thank you so much. Kevin, thank you very much. Absolutely, yeah. Continued success for both of our businesses. We are working hard. Absolutely. See you guys. Thank you so much for another amazing stream. Love y'all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you guys.